All right, folks, episode 4 of Kia Souls Can't Get Loud. Where we left off before was I needed to order a specific bracket or a tensioner for my alternator. Well, I got it. The one that I had in the picture is this little bad boy right here, little turnbuckle. Fasten this end by the engine block, this end on top of the alternator, on the top tab of the alternator. There's a little barrel in the center, and you turn it, pushes the eyelets out, the little eyelets on the end, it pushes them out, and we'll move the alternator away, or I can turn it the other direction and move the alternator in, so either loosen or tighten the belt. So I got this, and then I remembered that the gentleman who made my alternator over at Singer just mentioned with the factory bracket that I could just remove the 2 bolts and these holes right here. I could remove those 2 bolts and then use the pressure from the alternator belt tensioner to hold it against the engine block and keep tension on the belt. So if I can't get the eyelet thing to work, I'll just pop this in. So it's all in, and one of my coworkers is here, so I got to stop the video. Well, I know I had to skip a bunch of the video, but as you can hear, it's running. So I got it to start. Everything's cool. Let's see if we can do this here. Yeah, right here, I was able to reposition the factory alternator tensioning bracket. It's not perfect, but it's up there. Alternator is in. That's that little punk right there. It's in and ready to roll. Now what I have to do is go up to the auto parts place. The new battery posts that I bought is like here and here. The new ones that I bought, your positive post is going to be a bigger diameter than the negative post, and that's so that you don't switch the clamps and put the battery in wrong. But it turns out the packet that I bought was both of the little posts in there were for the negative side. So I got to go back and get one that's a little bit bigger so I can replace those on the battery. So these cable clamps can clamp down tight, because they don't clamp down tight right now. And then I have to see if I can get this in here. Like this, something like that. Right there. I got to replace this connection right here and this connection right here. And we should be good to go. So it's running right now. It started right up, no problem at all. So I'm going to put this thing on the charger, go to the auto parts place and get what I need, and then I'll come back. So I accidentally fixed it. Hey folks, I made it back. Grabbed some really healthy McDonald's while I was out, and I grabbed the new top post for the battery. You see the one there is marked positive, and that's the larger diameter one, and that one's marked negative. You can see it, and that's a smaller diameter. I mean, you can see the difference in the diameter right there. Whereas the ones that are on my battery now just aren't like that. So I'm going to have to, just for people who don't know, where is that? See if I can do this right there. Okay. So I'm going to have to I'm going to loosen up these bolts here and take those clamps off. And then I unthread the post that's there, and unthread it, take it out, just put the other one in, put the clamps back on. Done. And then the next part again will be changing these connections here. I got to take these off and crimp new ends instead of these. See if we can see them here. Can we see them? Maybe. Right there. Yeah, that crappy end there, and you can see how it's all wonky there in the end. And then this one on this side, we'll take it off. That's the fuse. The fuse for that big 0-gauge cable that's going way back to the hatch where my amplifiers are. So with that cable connection being all wonky there, there's no way that amplifier was getting even close to enough current before. But we'll fix that. Here we go. All right, folks. Just got the top post swapped out for the battery. Those are ready to go. They're a slightly larger diameter than there was on there before, so I'll have to spread the gap open on both of these clamps and get a nice pressure down on there and tighten them back on, and that should solve problems there. But as I said before, I'm going to change these connections here. So I've got for the fuse, that's a 150 amp fuse to help out protect out the amplifiers in the back. But I have these loosened up here. I'm going to take these terminals off and crimp some new ones on there for you. So I wish I had a tripod where I could just, do this. But if you look right there, you can see that some of that is just frayed. It's a bad connection. I don't even know how long, but we're about to fix that. Cool. And we'll be replacing those wonky lug terminals that are on the battery right now. Some nice copper ones here. That big 0 gauge cable should stuff right in there. And I have some heat shrink, one for the positive, well, they're both positive on that side. So I'll do 2 of the red ones on there and just heat shrink it on there. And I need to use this crimper with those big jaws right there to squeeze down on this section of that little lug terminal. And we'll put them on, one on this end of this wire, one on that end of that wire once I clean that up. I'm gonna snip that. Once I disconnect it, I'm gonna have to just take that thing off, throw it away, snip off the end, strip the wire housing back a little bit, get some fresh, copper exposed, and then crimp one of those on there, and then use my lighter and just melt the heat shrink under to kind of seal it up and protect it. Bolt it back down, and it should be ready to rumble. So wish me luck. Well, I have them all disconnected here and here from the fuse holder, and I'm thinking I slid the housing back here, the split loom, little outer sleeve. I slid that back, and I have to cut this off, the heat shrink off of this existing lug. This doesn't have any. I don't know why there wasn't any on there. I didn't do this, but I have to cut this off, and I'm like, man, did I bring a knife? I work in an entire facility full of knives. I have one. Anyway, so back to business. I'm gonna cut that off there, and then proceed with this. I'll get that all stripped back and show you what I'm talking about in a sec. All right, and in today's lesson of don't trust anybody, the guy that I had run all my power cables back did me wrong, and I didn't even know it. But look how large this connector is, and it goes onto this the blue 0 gauge cable right there. That blue cable that's in there is 0 gauge. It's about, I don't know, big as my ring finger. But look how big this terminal is here. This was on the input side of this fuse holder. And now look at the one that I was having problems with. Look how small that is. I mean, you can see the size of the bolt. That's the one that I bought. He must have lost one and put that one on there. That's for 4 gauge. So the reason this connection's been all wonky all this time is, yeah, that's 0 gauge. See, it just fell off. It just fell off. So that's why I've been having problems all this time. It just now fell off. That's unbelievable. So he must have lost the connector underneath the hood somewhere and put that small thing on there. Didn't even get a solid connection on the wire there. Oh my gosh, I thought it would be corroded, but he just twisted it in there and hoped for the best. Don't trust anybody. I gotta fix this. All right, folks, after a whole bunch of swearing, I was all excited and everything started and blah, 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 blah. Alternator's not a problem. It's in, it's good. Might polish up a few things a little bit later, but it's in and it's good. When I discovered the situation with the power cable at either side of the fuse holder, one side was the 0 gauge connector, the other side was only a 4. That guy had a few strands of that 0 gauge cable twisted and just kind of, he was hoping he would get the screw in there to hold it, and it was just hanging there. If I could find the thing that fell out from under the car, if I can find it, I'll pick it up and I'll take a picture of it and post it. But Never trust anyone to do stuff that you should do yourself. I go to a guy looking for help because my back was hurting and I didn't want to be crawling around in the car running wire through, and he, excuse my English, he half-ass does something like that. Never trust anyone to do something that you can do yourself. I'm going home. Can you hear the car running? I'm going home. All right, we're sitting at, I don't know, we're sitting at dark 30. And once again, I'm going home with my tail tucked between my legs. Alternator's in, everything's good. Got the little connector crimped on correctly, the ends of the power cable from the fuse holder crimped on, everything's good to go. Now the car just stalls out. I don't get it, so I don't get it. I would have made it, I left it running, you know, sitting there for a little bit. Once I got it started again, got it running. This is before I got it outside. Anyway, got it running, left it running for a little bit, cleaned up things around the shop, well, sort of. Started moving all my stuff that I needed to take home with me from my work van that I'm in right now into the Soul, and then I backed it out, moved my van where it needed to be, went out, got in the car, put it in gear, stalled right out, wouldn't start again. So I'm like, this is weird. So I pushed it back in the shop, put it back on the charger, and I'm in my van going home. Hopefully tomorrow, when I get to the shop again, car will be all healthy and ready to go, and yeah, I can't think of what it is. It's got the new battery posts, they're snug on there, the battery connectors are snug, everything's good to go. I don't know, I just don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out. This Soul isn't gonna get loud, it just isn't. All right, folks, it is now the next morning of episode 4 of Kia Soul Can't Get Loud. And you know, if you remember, car wouldn't keep running, wouldn't stay running. Well, drove home thinking about it, got home, thought about it, fell asleep in my recliner thinking about it, went to bed thinking about it, and then about I don't know, 3-ish sometime this morning, I wake up. I said, you forgot something. That's my mind, you forgot something. And yeah, I'm gonna see if I can turn this around, hang on. Looking under the hood here, see if I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? I can zoom in, look at that, that's fancy. You see this bolt right here where my finger is, this bolt right there? That's the main feed from the alternator to charge up the battery. And what do you see right here? Just a couple inches away from it, not connected to the alternator, is the cable that is supposed to bolt to the alternator because it feeds the battery afterward. So my silly self and my stress about the little battery post thing last night and the fuse holder situation last night, I forgot to even consider connecting this cable. So I'm gonna get that fixed today, and we should be all good. I mean, come on. Stress, man, stress. This thing will get loud. Alrighty, folks, zoom in down here. Take a look down here. I have the that cable connected at and the bolt is all, it's all into the nuts, all snugged up and ready to go. So that's a solid connection. I did start the car, engine covers back on. I did start it, started a few minutes ago, but now is the test to see if I can just get right back in and start it back up again. So all the connections here are done. I gotta replace, you can see the red heat shrink on there. I replaced the lug end on that. And on this side as well. So that's all snugged up and ready to go. New battery posts, clamps are snugged back on. And again, I did start it, so it did its thing. Now I'm gonna get back in here and we're gonna see, we're gonna unzoom here. There we go, just like that. Pop in the key. And there it goes. And let's watch those engine lights go out. yeah, give it a sec. Yeah, the brake light's on, and I need gas. But the brake light's on because I had the parking brake on, and I need gas because I need gas. But, yeah, if you pay attention to what you're doing, you know, sometimes it works. I'm going to keep an eyeball on it and make sure that the belt tension is good and ready to go over the next few days. But I'm actually going to drive this puppy home today after work. So, yeah, get home, slap my other subwoofer enclosure back in, beat on the system for a little while, see how it does, and yeah, we'll go from there. So again, if you pay attention to what you're doing and you don't let the little distractions in life get to you, you'll get it done. So yeah, shrug off the mistakes and keep going. All right, this is it for episode 4, and yeah, thanks for watching.